Hello to you newcomers and welcome back subscribers. This is Big Baby Props and I'm the Big Baby. Continuing our Z-6 blaster minigun remodel. We're into the third episode, and in this video I hope to cover making the barrels, maybe even these inserts here, and optimizing it all so that it should fit together and hold together pretty well. So where we left off, we've got our cage and our outer rings here, and the entire thing is nearly hollow. We added this half circle support with a little circle cut out for a wooden rod, which should drive all the barrels to spin, ideally. So we're going to keep working on this under that assumption. So if we look at the canvas, we are going to need a lid for this hole here, as well as something to insert the barrels into so they can spin together in uniform. So I'm thinking something similar to what we did for the main body as far as this lid right here. So let's bring everything back and let's make a sketch. And I'm going to make a sketch on this plane. Let's see, we are going to need a circle centered at the origin. Let's go, I'm trying to get all my views in line here. Let's go all the way out to the outside of that. I'm going to need one all the way in, and then one most of the way in. So let's get the top of the lid done first. So that's going to need all of the profiles selected. And then we'll bring this out. Oh, half an inch sounds good. Yeah. We'll make it a new body. Hit OK. And now we need to make the part of the circle that is going inside. So that'll just be this inner circle here. We don't want that outer circle just yet, or at all. So let's bring it in. This is going to have a lot of weight on this end, so we're going to need a big kind of counterbalance. So I'm going to make this a good 3 inches long, maybe even more. That should help counterbalance the amount of weight that's going to be held on it from the barrels, the rod, or the sight, and everything else out there. Oops. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Oops. We're going to want to join these two since they will be one lid. So go to modify and combine, and we'll do a join. There. Looking good. Now this is a solid body, which we don't exactly need. So we're going to shell it a bit. We don't want to shell it entirely because we do need this piece to be pretty strong. We just don't need it to be completely solid. So I think a good 1/2 inch will support the rest of the barrels and all that stuff that's going to hang out there. We might have to reinforce this seam with some kind of glue or something, because that will probably be the weak point of the 3D print. But it's looking good so far. Now, let's show everything again. Now we can start working on barrels. So, I want the barrels to be able to insert into this, the top of the lid here. So we're going to need to cut out a little portion of it so that they can slide in there. Let's see, there's 6 barrels, so let's get to sketching. To select the edge of the cap here, and let's hide the canvases. Actually, we need to see where the barrels are. They're kind of right there. Okay. So we need to go to our circle. Actually, I'm going to draw us a center line, just so that we can snap to it with the circle. Sometimes I like having an angle while I'm sketching, just so that I know for sure what face I'm sketching on. So if we want 3/4 inch barrels, it's going to look something like that. Let's see how that looks. So we're going to go back to circular pattern, do this guy, select our center point, and it has 6 barrels, so let's go all the way to 6. That's looking pretty good. Now comes the fun part. Let's extrude these bad boys. Let's show our canvas. Let's extrude them all the way out. It's about there. Looking great. And let's do 2 sides so that we can send it into the lid a little bit. Maybe let's go with 1/4 inch. Oops, okay. So that cut it. We need to repeat the extrusion. Since we went into this lid here, Fusion 360 assumed we only wanted to do a cut. Now we can extrude the barrels. All good like. These are new bodies. And you know what I just thought of? Since we want the barrels to fit into there, we need to also include the same tolerance that we added for the other ones. So we might want to make this a little bit bigger than 3/4 inches exactly. Luckily, Fusion is pretty smart. If we look at our sketch, we can go and edit it and make these just a hair bigger. It might be too much. Can we measure these? Not quite like I was hoping. Okay, well that should be a little bit bigger than 3/4 inches, even if I don't know exactly how much it is. Let's look. There should be a thin gap in the cross section. Maybe not. Oh, I see. We adjusted the circle, but Fusion 360 automatically made these barrels larger as well. So we can remove these and go again. Let's just add another circle on here. That is exactly 3/4 inches. So circle 0.75. Yeah, it is just a little bit smaller than what we enlarged it to. Now we can circular pattern it. This one. Select our center point, go up to 6 again. And there. Now, since they're all on the inside, we should just be able to select. Oops. What did I do? We should be able to just select all of the barrels again. And extrude them out. Bam. These are going to be new bodies. Now let's look at the cross section. Okay, well, we also need to send them in, but that won't really matter for now because we're not going to 3D print the barrels. We're going to use wooden dowels. It'll save us a lot of time, and 3D printing long cylinders like this is they're not very strong. So anytime you can use a different material for something simple like a long cylinder, I'd suggest it. So we're just going to go ahead and leave it. It is still cut out of the main body. Actually, it's not. We do need to. No, okay, it's fine. Because the larger circle is cut out of this lid here, which is what we want. So let's name this and insert, and we can name these barrels. It's really starting to come together. So if you can kind of see my plan for the rotating mechanism, it should a rod will go through the entire middle of it, connect to this lid that we just finished, extend all the way out, and we'll have a motor or something down here spinning the entire thing. So if we look at our canvas, we will notice that there's also these, I wouldn't know what to call these coils or something around the barrel, or inside of all the barrels. So what we can do is we can extend that rod all the way through here, here, even here. We can extend it all the way as far as those coils go. That will give us a better grip on all of our moving parts, and ideally make things spin better. That's the plan anyway. So let's start modeling those. I'm going to need to hide all these barrels because they're going to be in the way. Let's add a sketch on here. Give ourselves a nice center line. And these look pretty simple in shape. I'm probably just going to go something like that. And just make them a rectangle for now. We can smooth out the corners and edges very easily later on. So let's create, darn it. We need to stop the sketch first. Let's create and revolve this. Looking great. Now we can create a rectangular pattern, this object. Oh boy, I think there's 13 of these things. Let me look at the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 13. They might actually be a little bit more detailed than I thought. So let's actually edit this sketch a little bit. Let's give it a nice little lip up here. There. Now we can revolve again, and we will join it. Now we can rectangular pattern this guy. We want the whole body, not just the face. That was weird. So we're going to need 13. In a direction, we'll select this line. Why did it go back down to 3? 13. Awesome. Okay, now we can drag this out. That's pretty good, actually. And we will select OK. You know what? Before we get ahead of ourselves, let's modify this piece. So to smooth out the edges, let's just do a simple fillet. This is going to round off the edge. And let's do it. Ooh, too far. That looks good. And we fillet this too. There. I think that looks better, at least more detailed. Now let's repeat the rectangular pattern. Directions. 15. All right, looking good. We've got our inner coils, and let's make this part up here. So it looks like we're going to need a circle inside of a circle so that the inner circle can spin freely of the outer circle, but the outer circle is going to hold that inner circle in place, if that makes sense. If not, I'm sure you guys will get it as we move along. So let's create a new sketch and add a nice center line for us. Okay. And we will bring this up. See, that's pretty good. And over. And down. Now let's revolve this. Yeah, looking good. Now we're going to need an inner circle. So let's shell this guy on both sides to make them hollow. Let's see. We're going to need the barrels to fit through the entire inner circle. So we want to leave enough room for them. That might be good. We might expand it outward a little bit. Let's modify this sketch. Bring this line up just a hair so that it auto adjusts and gives us some more room for our inner circle. Okay. Let's edit this sketch and add a line for our inner circle. Let's put it, actually, this inner circle has a thickness, so we will need a new sketch. I don't want to do this. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's hide this stuff that we don't need right now. And let's draw a circle. Now we want it to be pretty close, but also fault tolerant. So let's just go out there and create. And we will extrude this the same distance that the outer circle is, or pretty close to it at least. There. Looking good. Okay, let's name these because we're already at 103 bodies. Inner spinning circle. You know what? I think I want to make this thicker again because we're going to need the rail to go through it, and we don't want it to be too flimsy. So let's just pull this up a little bit more. There. Unless that's just moving it. Yep. Dang. Well, what we can do is edit the sketch and just add a little bit more oomph to it. And do the create and revolve around it. And this should be a join with, it should show. That's okay. We can join them now. Combine and join. Boom. All right. Now, clearly the barrels go through that spinning inner circle. So, I don't want to do this. We should use our slightly larger barrel sketch so that we maintain our tolerance. Now I just need to find that sketch so we can see it. There it is. So how should we do this? We might just have to go in and select everything. There's probably a better way to do this, but I'm not smart enough. Select our inner circle as well as our slightly larger outer circle. Just hold Control while you're doing this and don't let go. Alright, let's get that last one on the other side. Okay. Damn it. Okay, now we've got it all. So let's put the barrels through it and see how it looks. Okay, we're making good progress here, guys. So the idea is this part will be connected to the center rod that is connected to the motor. It is going to spin with the barrels, these guys, and this center circle. This outer circle is going to be holding up this inner circle so it can spin out here as well. Lastly, let's create our center rod so we at least have an object representation of it. I will definitely be using a wooden dowel for this as well. So we at least want to have a representation of it in Fusion. Okay, where do I want this sketch at? Oops. There. We might as well do it all the way down here. So I'm hitting C for center diameter circle. We're going to use a 1/2 inch wooden dowel, but let's increase it just a hair, 0.505 maybe, 5.1 for our tolerance. And now we can extrude it all the way out. Let's make sure I have the right circle here. And we'll select 2 sides so that we have control of how far it goes on each side. So let's drag this all the way out and this guy in so that it's not cutting everything. We don't need a hole cut out on the backside of here. And let's adjust this distance to be about halfway through that spinning inner circle. And we will hit OK. And now that's cut a hole through all those inner objects. We'll do a cross-section analysis again. Let's have a look. Now let's chop the hole through everything here, through our lid there, our coil pieces, as well as this inner spinning circle. Okay, I think I'm going to call it for this video. Let's see what we have left. We've got the sight, the ammo box, this grip up here, this, I don't know, supporter down here, and then the handle. So just a few more pieces left to go, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you have any tips or anything that you want to suggest, be sure to leave them in the comments for me. I'll be sure and read them all. In the meantime, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned something. I hope to see you in the next video.